Let's see. What do we have now? So, where do we want to go with good old Tucker? Good old Tucker. Let's.
Sharia,
Oh,
Sharia.
uh,
What?
Milk Bar's been crushing it, man. So he was
Yeah,
just going. He
he's
was.
destroying Tucker Carlson
Yeah, he and Candace, man.
and Candace. Yes,
It's like
you don't want to mess with Milk Bar, man.
you don't want to mess with Milk Bar, man. So Milk Bar, he'd been crushing Tate, and more than anyone I can think of, he's the one who was exposing Tate by taking everything. He's just a champ. He's just a champion at going through all this content and bringing all the lies to the surface. He was doing that. He was doing that with Tate. He's been on live with us a couple times, but he was doing that with Tate for a long time, and now with Candace and Tucker. But here he put together some clips of Tucker being concerned, seriously concerned about Sharia and Islam from basically 2001 all the way until 2024 when something suddenly changed in 2025. But let's go ahead and check out Milk Bar because this is a good overview.
It's a large number of Muslims around the world who are sympathetic to these acts of craziness. Pew Research poll findings that 1 of every 4 Muslim Americans younger than 30 believe suicide bombing in the defense of Islam is justifiable. For instance, do you believe that Arabs carried out the 9/11 attacks? Only
That's him with Ibrahim Hooper, who's was the head of CARE.
40% believe Arabs carried them out. Do they think the Jews did it?
I get that decent Muslim Americans feel under attack. They feel like they're being unfairly portrayed as terrorists. I understand all that. But at some point, you have to say, this really is a real problem, and it's discrediting all of us. And until we take it seriously, it's going to continue, no?
We can debate the details here, but I think it's important to acknowledge a baseline, and that is that there have been an awful lot of attacks where actual people died in the United States.
What's that?
Who's that woman?
Some chick. But keep in mind, this is 2017. This is not terribly long ago. It's 8 years ago.
And in Europe, committed by people saying really clearly we're acting in the name of Islam. Hasidic Jews, I mean, they're a set-apart community, speak a different language, not assimilated, but I don't see a lot of terror attacks committed by those groups.
And it's important he's pointing that out. Like you say, okay, if you got a bunch of Muslims and they're not assimilated, of course they're they're going to be hostile towards our society, going to be attacking everyone else and so on. And he points out, what are you talking about? And I think right after this, he talks about like the Amish. The Amish don't assimilate with everyone else and so on. They're not going around killing people. Hasidic Jews aren't going around killing people. Why is this one particular group? Oh yeah, that's true as far as we know. If you ask Daniel, there are all these secret assassins and so on.
The Amish.
Mm-hmm. The Amish too.
Often hear Americans say, I have said, including last night, is that assimilation is the problem, is people are not assimilated. And yet you look around, and there are actually a number of groups in our society and yours who aren't assimilated. Hasidic Jews live apart, the Amish live apart, they pose no threat at all.
That's interesting. So if the criticism, if the explanation is, but they haven't assimilated, that's the problem. That can't just be the problem, because there are other groups that haven't assimilated, and they're not going around slaughtering everyone in the name of their religion. In other words, sounds pretty commonsensical. Sounds like he understands something here that he's about to forget everything about.
The country they live in, they love the country. Why is this group different?
Well, the Muslim population of the West is rising very quickly, and that has implications for social cohesion or national security. So if I say, as Islamic countries do, you don't have a choice. You have to wear the hijab. You need to be modest, and if you're not, you could get raped, and if you do, it's your fault. And you have to avert your gaze from men. For example, women are asked to walk behind their husbands, or in some countries, you're not allowed to drive or vote. Under certain circumstances, can that be empowering? Can female genital mutilation be empowering?
So this chick was apparently, Islam is empowering to women, empowering. And Tucker seems to understand a lot about the Muslim world and about what Islam teaches. I'm just saying this because he seems pretty well informed on at least the basics. And all of that's about to go out the window. And he's not going to remember any of this as of 2025. Strange. Whatever that demon did to him, it apparently completely wrecked everything he knows about Islam and made him pro-Islam and pro-Sharia.
I think a lot of it is also because of Twitter, and honestly, I think it's a little bit something where Elon Musk is to be blamed. For those who haven't realized it yet, Elon Musk is not a great person and not a great influence on the world.
I disagree. Elon is a saint and a scholar.
So
Don't be jealous of Elon. You always got people like AP who are jealous of the world's richest man.
that's true. That's true. Everybody has their flaws, but Elon really made a mess with things. And Twitter or X was even before this, prior to this, it was to many people who especially focus on information, on influence, and all that. Twitter was the place to be to per text or per messages at least convey different pieces of information, to exchange ideas and all that. And then under Elon Musk, it completely changed and turned into a place where it is now full of, according to a recent research, half of daily Twitter activity or of X activity might be by bots, by accounts that
Optimus
appear
robots?
to be accounts that appear to be real people, but that are actually bots ran by, for example, one person running multiple bots and so on, ran by different countries. Elon Musk also made it very, very difficult for any company or for people to easily access X from the outside and to assess how many bots are actually there, how many people are real and how many are fake. So X got really poisoned and a lot of weird stuff is going on there. And Tucker, since he left Fox, started posting his stuff on X and takes every feedback that he gets on X as legitimate, basically, and bases much of what he talks about on feedback that he gets from X. So when he then gets all the messed up stuff that is nowadays on X, he might consider it useful to just pander to that audience and to go with whatever they like. And that audience is one that is that, for example, right now sees not Islam, but rather Jews as the bad thing. Whereas everybody knows that Islam is the religion that is out there to try and conquer the world. But, he might be really under some messed up influence here, which is because of Elon.
And I recently made a video about Muhammad Hijab and how if you're a manipulator, you're manipulating people into doing what you want, but your crowd is constantly giving you feedback on what works best. And so they influence your behavior over time. But that's true not just of manipulators. There's a level of that with influencers in general. You've got your crowd, and they're cheering for certain things you say, and so on. And you put something out there, and it gets a bunch of attention, and everyone's cheering for you. And it's like, oh, I want to do more of that. Well, you can actually steer someone in certain directions. But with Elon, I don't think there's a. I think Elon has good intentions with all of this, but he's out of touch with something we've talked about many times before, which the founding fathers understood, that these freedoms were made for people who are going to handle them responsibly. And I said, it's not going to work. The entire system will break down if it's used by evil people for evil. And there have always been evil people using the system for evil, but you kind of need like vast majority of people using their freedom responsibly. So take something like right to bear arms or something like that. As long as the vast majority of people are using that responsibly, if you got murderers here or there, or a school shooter here or there, something like that, you can have bad, but the entire system will work. Well, what happens if everyone is just going around blowing each other's brains out? Well, the system's not going to work. But it doesn't have to be most people misusing their freedom. You just need to get an increasing number of people not handling their freedoms responsibly for the system to break down. So anyway, with Elon, I think Elon is a true believer in just let everyone speak and and they'll figure things out and they'll get to the bottom of this and it'll all work out and so on. And they might also send everyone in a completely insane direction and bring the entire system crashing to the ground.
I mean, right now, Elon Musk is busy. I actually had to unfollow him, man. I actually had to unfollow him.
Why? Because he retweeted? Because he commented on my post the other day?
Yes, and I can't handle that. No, because everything he posts right now is basically just AI video things, and much of it is just sexual AI stuff. Playing with the thought of having AI sex bots and things like this. Like, I don't know, man. Wasn't it like a few years ago where people were talking about Elon Musk as the great savior who is going to put an end to the declining birth rates and all that? And what's happening?
Yeah, that's some weird. I think he took down. I think he posted one and everyone complained about it, and then people and I think he took it down. Took down one of those and stuff.
He created a character, an AI character that is basically just an over hypersexualized child version of a girl for lonely guys to use as a chatbot called Annie, and that you can also dress up in different ways, including basically put her in little underwear with a childlike body.
What the heck, man? How far were you checking this stuff out, man? I mean, I saw him post a little what was it? I don't even know what to call it. It's not a GIF, but anyways, yeah, it's a little cartoon figure. Pretty creepy, but yeah, it is. It is funny that he's trying to advertise the new video making features and stuff like that. And that's where it's almost like he's saying, I know this is what you guys want to do, so let's just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Weird stuff. Back to Tucker's implosion.
In Islamic countries.
An Austrian woman was convicted of, quote, disparaging religion. She was fined more than $500. Her crime was suggesting that Muhammad's marriage to a 6-year-old constituted a form of pedophilia. She claimed her comments were protected by the freedom of speech because she is a European, and traditionally they would have been, but things have changed now. So in other words, a standard that has long prevailed in the Islamic world, which is that you can be punished for criticizing Muhammad, is now the law in Europe.
So interesting. 2018, Tucker seemed to understand that this is a problem. Islam wants to crush your speech on certain issues. Seemed to understand. In other words, the point of all this is it's one thing for a person who has no clue about Islam and has no clue what Sharia teaches and has no clue about what Islam is doing to the world. It's one thing for a person like that to start going, hey, Sharia's not all that bad. It's completely different from a guy who's been reporting on this stuff for years and has interacted with a number of Muslims on this and has pointed out the problems and has pointed out the statistics and has pointed out the teachings and who knows what it's doing to the world, for that person to suddenly go, you know, Sharia, I kind of had the wrong idea about it. It's actually really awesome. And it's basically something that could save our civilization.
Basically.
Something weird.
Exactly right.
The bomber was born in Britain, not some far-off land, but he still grew up to embrace Islamic radicalism and declare war on the country that raised him and kill his neighbors, in effect. There are many more like him. So when you watch the American response, even the cultural response to an event like what happened in your country on Monday, are you surprised by how few of the lessons Americans are learning from this?
All Sharia law is bad.
And here we have 2025. He just said Sharia law. And he's about to start mocking people who think Sharia's dangerous and bad, which would have included him from 2001 to 2024. Let me back this up slightly. There we go.
Lessons Americans are learning from this?
All Sharia law is bad, Seth. I don't know if you've heard that. It's bad. It's worse than what's happening in New York and Detroit. It's just bad.
You got to stop with that creepy laugh after you say this stuff, dude. It makes you sound demon possessed. That's what it does, man. It's creepy. People keep playing.
Can you play it again?
We're about to look at the actual clip because this is I actually pulled up the clip so that way we won't we're not taking anything out of context and so on.
Learning from this?
All Sharia law is bad, Seth. I don't know if you've heard that. It's bad. It's worse than what's happening in New York and Detroit. It's just bad.
It's Tucker Carlson at the Real Estate Future Forum.
Oh, look at that. Look where he is.
2025.
Never been to Saudi Arabia, and I can't wait to go for a glimpse of what the future holds, because that's what you see when you go to the Gulf. Because
that's what you see. You see the future, ladies and gentlemen. Islam, Sharia, it's all the future.
Of its scale, its significance, in Islam.
He's like, you know what Islam means? Submission. And like, let it hang in the air. Like that was self-evidently disgusting. And I was like, I kind of think submission to God is like the whole point of life, but I didn't say anything. I was like, I don't think I'm against that, actually.
This is an existential threat to the Western way of life. I really believe that.
Anyone who submits to God, like, I'm just for that.
Okay, so here would be the issue, AP, that we're obviously going to look at, but I mean, this is Dawah script level stuff. Hey guys, Islam's just submission to God. Don't you want to submit to God? What's wrong with submitting to God? Why would you be opposed to submission to God? It makes no sense. Jews, Christians, everyone should be on board with submitting to God. So what's your problem with Islam? This is bad, AP. This is bad. You got all these people who spent decades building up a huge following, and then what do you do with it? Use it to blast Jews and promote Islam and Sharia.
But David,
yeah,
submission. It's just submission. It's just submission to God.
Sounds like it's like how Tucker Carlson became the Joker, the transformation. Hey, check this out. Let me see. Get this pulled up here. Let's see. And here we go. About right like that. All right, got that? Okay. Let's go down to Surah 4, verse 65. Tucker. You break this down for you. And all you Tucker fans.
Tucker, I know you're watching.
Again, this is Dawah level. This is Dawah script level stuff. Oh, Islam's just submission. Why would you have a problem with submission? It's just submission. Submission to God. Don't you believe in submission to God? Yeah. The issue isn't, and the claim of Islam isn't simply that you must submit to God. It's how you submit to God. If you just said submit to God, Jews and Christians would be on the same page with Muslims. The issue isn't that you're saying that you must submit to God. It's that Islam tells you how you submit to God. And here you have it in Surah 4, verse 65, where Allah, the one you're submitting to, says how you have to submit to him. There's a way, there's a path that you are required to follow in order to submit to him. And here's what it is. But no, Allah says, but no, by your Lord, they can have no faith, no real Islamic faith. You can't really be a Muslim. You can't really submit until what? Until they make you, O Muhammad, judge in all disputes between them and find in themselves no resistance against your decisions and accept them with full submission. You submit to Allah, Tucker, by mindlessly accepting all of Muhammad's decisions and training yourself over the course of your lifetime to have no resistance against anything Muhammad decides. In other words, if Muhammad decides that if someone like AP has to die because he's left Islam, or if Muhammad has decided that someone like me, I have to die because I criticize Muhammad and the Quran, or if he decides it's okay to bang little kids and so on, all the stuff you're familiar with, beat women and so on. If Muhammad makes that decision, the way you submit to Allah is by having absolutely no resistance against anything Muhammad has decided, and you accept all of Muhammad's decisions on all these issues with full submission. That's what submission in Islam means. Do you seriously think it's laughable for someone to have a problem with that? You giant idiot. Freaking sellout, man. Tucker.
But David, it's just submission. Why would you have a problem with submission?
Someone needs to splice that video together with like clips of the Joker laughing, man.
It's so weird, man.
It's extremely weird. Let's take these couple super chats, and then we're gonna check out. Let's see. What are we checking out first? Oh, yeah. I did want to check out a video clip that wasn't included in there where he's talking to a Muslim. I think this was from 2018, so still not terribly long ago, talking 7 years ago, and seemed to think that Sharia is really bad. And then we'll check out some of his recent comments in context. Not good. This is not good that he's promoting this stuff.